Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new tutorial, and this time I'm going to explain how I will paint Colonel Ironhand Straken. This is a miniature from the Katachan, or it's from the Astra Militarum Codex, and it's from the Katachan Regiment. I will focus on the miniature. I will not talk about the base, and I will try to be close to the official colors. So the first thing that I will do, I will paint the metallic parts with iron lead belcher, because we'll give a very good deep color, and this painting is working quite well on top of white. I will try to work precisely and not to mess all over the miniature, because I want to keep the light color for the rest of the parts. So I will just apply this color on the metallic parts, and this is including half of the body, because this guy have lost almost half of the body fighting the Tyranids, and it's now half robotic, or half is a bionic man. So I will paint also the sword. Okay. As usual, try to make the paint thin to avoid to cover any detail. And here at the back I see that there is some wiring, so I will try to avoid cover the wiring, and will try to keep a different color for the wiring that we have here at the back. When I paint, although I know that I will paint the wires later on, I like to apply the color just on the area that I'm going to paint, because in that way it's for me more visible when I need to do this next color where I have to apply it. I'm starting with this metallic, because I want to do a black wash, and I want to avoid, in case I'm dirtying other parts, I want to avoid to dirt parts that are finished. Normally I have two ways to start painting a miniature, or maybe 3 ways. I start with normally I start with the parts that are the most messy ones, the ones that I'm going to do techniques that are more messy. And then when I'm doing that, this way a lot of time I start with the base, because I do a lot of vibration on the base that I don't do in the rest of the miniature. Then the next, this is one of the ways. The other way to start, if there is a part that is very hidden, that is difficult to reach, I do this parts first. Because normally when you're doing parts that are difficult to reach, you're messing up around this part. So to avoid that I dirt part that is finished, is to do first these deep parts that sometimes are difficult to of difficult access. Here we have to imagine where the robotic part finish and where the skin starts. So here we have this part here. Let me check. I'm checking how. Okay. Okay, so I will do the metallic part. I will keep working on the metallic parts, and I will be back once I finish with that parts. While this is drying, I will start doing the pants, and for the pants I will use Cavalling green, very dark green. Again, thin layer of Cavalling green, and I will cover completely the pants of this guy. If you see that the one layer is not enough, you always can apply a second layer. So again, I try to not to paint over all the details, so I try to be smooth and precise. I always like, as I explained before, I try to avoid to cover the details, because this helps a lot to see later on where you have to do the detail. So I will keep working on the trousers. I will be back once the green is applied. So the green is done, and now I will do the black parts. I will apply Abaddon black again, thin it down, and I will apply it on the boots and on this thing here. So I will paint the boots with Abaddon black. As usual, thin the paint down. So as you can see now, I'm applying the main base colors. What I will not do is the skin, because I want to do the washes before doing the skin, just in case the wash gets out of control. And then once I apply the washes on these parts, I will then paint the skin. So I'm doing the black because the black is in contact with metallic in some parts, so I will do all the black, and I will be back once the black is done. So now the black is applied, so the next step that I will do is I will use Nun oil, and I will do a wash on the metallic parts. And the green, as this green is very dark, so I think the best wash that to work there will be Nun oil. So I apply Nun oil, like a nice void, like it happened here, that is accumulated too much in one area, and be sure that you apply it uniformly all over the all over the metallic parts in that case. So here on the sword, avoid that there is also Nun oil accumulated somewhere. Here on the arm, it's very important that we do a uniform layer as well here on this part of the torso. So you see now all the details start popping up. I'll apply a little bit here on the part of the neck. I will put on the gun, especially to separate the two kinds of the gun, and then the ammunition. And I will apply as well on the pants. That way I will have a very nice shading on the pants. That will be the great start to do all the highlights and the camo pattern. Of course, here on the pants also be a very uniform layer, and avoid that the paint is accumulated somewhere. And now we have to wait until the washes are completely dry before doing the next step. So this is how it's looking like now, and now we wait until the washes are completely dry. So now the washes are completely dry, and what I will do the next, I will start doing the base color for the skin. In that way I will have all the base colors applied, and I will be able to start doing more shading and the highlights. So I will use a very pale skin. In that case I will go for Kislev Flesh. Again, be sure that the paint is thinned down. and I will just apply a thin layer on all the skin parts of this guy. It's a little bit tricky to know where the skin starts sometimes and where the metal starts. They're like here, like small pieces of skin. So just not a lot to say here. I will just apply the skin, this color on the skin, and I will be back once this is applied, because it's nothing special, just thin layer of kissless flesh. So now the skin is long with kissless flesh. The next thing I will do, I will start painting the different details before doing the wash. So I will start with the head, for example, and I will use Mephisto red to do this thing. So as he is Katachan, normally they wear this in red. So I will paint this in Mephisto red. Now what I will do is I will apply the base colors on all the different parts, and once the base colors are applied, I will start doing the remaining washes, and as well all the highlights on the miniature. But now my idea is to see how the miniature will look like with all these colors applied. Normally, yeah, all the Katachan warriors have this in red, so this is why I'm also painting this in red. In my army I don't do that, because I don't consider my army Katachan, but this time, as I wanted to follow as close as possible the official colors of this miniature. The person who I'm painting this for just told me that I can paint in the color scheme that I want, so I decided to do it following the official color scheme of the Colonel Straken, Iron Hand Straken, or at least the one that is close to the fluff. So, and he is a colonel of the Katachan soldiers, so they wear this in red. As usual, each time that you do a new apply a color, be sure that you thin out the paint to avoid cover the tails. Another thing that I want to do, as you can see, I wanted to use white primer in that miniature because I'm using quite clear colors and I wanted to go on white. The white primer, normally the problem they have is that any mistake or any miss that you do is more visible. For example, here in the skin, I didn't when I miss a point. Normally when I'm doing that, I take the color that used to be used or use for this one, and I will cover to be sure that I don't leave any white gap between the two colors. Another thing that I just detect now, here I missed a little bit the washing black here. I will do it right now. When I see a defect, I like to correct it at the same moment, because in that way I'm pretty sure that I'm sure that I will not forget. In the past I was not doing that, and then you spend a lot of time trying to find all the misses or fails that you did. So now I prefer to do the correction at the moment that I find the mistake. Okay, so now this is done. As it is a very little part here, I will keep working on the miniature. Next thing I will do, I will take quite this brown, more frank brown, and I will do the belt and this thing. I don't know how it's called this in English. We'll do all this. Okay. In more fun brown. I will not paint the pistol itself because I will do it in black later on. We'll also do the bell and this small bell here that is keeping this in position. So I will paint the bell and these parts, and I will be back because I think this is not as interesting, and I will be back painting, doing the base colors. So I applied now the brown. What I did on the belt is I just went all over the belt, and now what I will do, because this is the easiest way to do it. Now what I will do is the I don't know how it's called, this, the things that are in the trousers to that the belt is passing through. So I'm doing this things. So the best way for me to do belts is first I paint the belt completely, and then I do the things that keep the belt with the trousers, with the pants. So now they are, it's painted. Be sure that I go, so it's paint here. I will do a wash later on, so if you see that the color is too bright, don't worry, I will do a wash on the belt and on this part later on. So next, I will keep doing all the base colors now. So I will use, I would like to paint the grenades with a military color, so I will use Castellan green to do the two grenades, the frack and the crack. So I think Castellan color give a very nice military color. I don't think grenades are metallic. Today, if you see a real grenade, they are not in metal colors. They are normally painted. So I will do the same here. I paint them in Castellan green as well. So I will paint both grenades on the same color. I don't think it's adding any value to do the grenades in different colors, and then you add too many colors on a miniature. So again, I avoid to have any white spot. If you see white spots, I will, even if now I leave a small white spot, as we have to do, I want to do some washes, they will be covered anyway. But I prefer to do the corrections. So here I will go now with the skin color again and do some corrections here. We'll also paint the front grenade with the same green color. Okay. The ones that are the smaller details, like small ropes or things that here, these are going to be painted the last thing, so I will not paint them now, because I will do washes and I will do highlights, so it's easier to paint these parts once you are finished with all these things. But now I want to see all the base colors applied to see how the miniature will look like. So next, what I will do, I will use with Batibone or Screaming Skull. No, it's not this one. Sorry, I will use Screaming Skull to put on this animal skull or alien skull. There are some small ropes. I will. You can avoid or not them. I will not pay a lot of attention. I will be sure that I apply a uniform thin layer all over this skull with that color. Okay. As well. So as you see, now it's just applying all the base colors all over the miniature before I start doing the washes and all the other stuff, because in that way I will see will have a good idea how the miniature will look like and how the color composition will look. You have to keep in mind that most of this color, for example this green color, will change a little bit the tonality once we start doing the highlights and the washes, so you have to take this into mind when you are applying and when you are doing the base colors. Also it's good because when doing that you can change the tone of the color to make it more brown or more white as you desired, so in that way you can balance all the colors in the miniature. Here I be sure that I apply uniform color. This is a Scream Skull, works perfectly on top of any color almost. It's have a very nice coverage of the other colors. So this is done here. Now I will paint black here oh shit, this part of the pistol, the handle of the pistol, I will paint it in black. Okay. And I will paint in black, yeah, that is here. I know it's a small detail, but I will do the button. So I do this. That. Okay, this is supposed to be the plasma pistol that he's carrying. And the last thing that I leave for, I will also do this in another green color. I will go this time for this, for example, a Straken green. This is the color of a Straken. I will apply this a little bit. We'll apply it here. Another thing that you will see is when you're playing the base colors, sometimes the transition between one color and the other is a little bit diffuse, it's not sharp. Once you start doing the washes and the highlights, one of the work that you have to do is to sharpen these transitions. For example, when it's needed. For example, you don't want that this piece of cloth it's diffuse, or you want it to be sharp compared to the skin, so you want a sharp transition in that case. So I will work to make it happen. In other parts maybe you don't want this sharp transition, so it's up to you. Of course, in the skin between one part and the other you just want the smooth transitions. I will use the same color to do these wires here in the armor. I think this color will be light enough. As you see here, I put too much paint and I make a mistake, so I will need to correct this. It's good that sometimes so I'm not doing very well this part. But no problem, I will take profit of these mistakes, to share how to correct this. this second one much better. So as you see here, I put a little bit out of place to match. What I do in that case is, that is metallic, and I will take a little bit of Chaos Black, very thin tip, and I will just go next to the cable. Okay, then you don't want to have green out of the cable. Especially here you want something very sharp. So this is why it's important that if you do a mistake, you do a correction. So now it's much better. The wires are there. And now the last thing I will do is I will apply some gold on the eagles. On the eagles and on the, let's call this, on the, here at the bottom of the sword. So I will use, sorry, this is not the mistake the color. I will use auric gold. It's a very clear one. Don't worry if the coverage is not perfect at that point. I just will apply a little bit. It's too, as you see, it's too dry, so I will put some water. Need to put some water here to make it thinner. Okay. So this color auric armor gold have a very bad coverage. So on white is maybe too bright, but as I'm planning to do a wash later on, this is okay for me at this point. I will also apply here that part to break the uniformity of the shot. Okay. I will apply on the eagle, on the shotgun. Or the Aquila, I have to say. Don't worry if I get out of the Aquila. I will do a white and then I will delimit with black. The limits here also have like a necklace or collar, so I will do it later on. The last thing I want to do is the Aquila of the belt, of the buckle on the belt. Okay, and as you can see, I leave some white there. It's part of the skin, so I will go back to the color of the skin to correct this and to ensure that there is no white there. This is a little bit of the pain when you are painting with white prime, when you're using white prime. But I wanted to go for brighter colors, and this is why I use white prime. So I will do some corrections that I have here to do. One is here, but I see this small mistake here and here on the, okay. Now I will do the color. I will do the color at the end when it's finished. So now at this point the miniature is ready to start doing the washes. As you see, I arrive at a point where all the base colors are applied. Let me show. I will do a shot because it's interesting to see how it's looking before the washes and how it will look like later on. So you see here the color is very flat on the body. The armor on the metallic part, sorry, I will need to do some highlights, and the metal is looking very dull because it is only wash. The trousers are not looking bad with only the wash, but I want to add some camo pattern and also do some highlights. So this is now is when you have all the basic colors applied. So we can see at this point that I applied all the basic colors, and now we'll start the fun of painting a miniature, that is doing the highlights and doing the shading. So I will finalize here the first part because I think it's a good moment to stop or to break the tutorial here, especially because I want to make shorter videos to make me easier the edition of the videos. So, and then I will go to the second part and be ready in the second part where we'll do the washes, the highlight, and I will finalize the miniature. I think this can be done in 2 videos. So thanks, please leave comments, let me know what you think. I hope you like what you see here so far. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and see you again later. Bye!